What would you do if you found out your disability wasn't real? Because I didn't just find out. I found out the worst way possible. I grew up believing I was sick. Not just sometimes tired or a little off. No, my mom told me I had a rare neurological condition. Something about my muscles being weak. My body fragile, my immune system dangerous. Big words. Complicated explanations, doctors, medications, appointments. My entire life revolved around it. I wasn't allowed to run. Not allowed to play sports. Not allowed to stay out late with friends. Your body can't handle it, my mom would say, adjusting my blanket like I was made of glass. And I believed her. Because why wouldn't I? She was my mom. At school, I was the sick girl. Teachers gave me extra time. Students whispered about me. Some felt bad. Some avoided me. I spent more time in the nurse's office than the cafeteria. And my mom, she loved the attention. At the time, I didn't see it like that. I thought she was just protective. But looking back, it was something else. She posted about me constantly. Long captions about her brave daughter. Pictures of me in hospital beds, fundraisers, sympathy comments. People calling her so strong. And every time she'd smile at the screen like she needed it. But the cracks started small. Tiny things that didn't make sense. Like how sometimes I didn't feel sick at all. There were days I felt completely normal. Energetic even. Like I could run, jump, do everything I'd been told I couldn't. But the second I said something, "You're having a good day," my mom would interrupt quickly. "Don't push it." And just like that, the feeling would disappear. Because I'd start second-guessing myself. Then came the medications. Pills I didn't question, treatments I didn't understand. One time I asked, "What happens if I stop taking these?" My mom froze. Not like confused. Like scared. "You can't," she said quickly. "Your body needs them." That should have been my first real warning. But it wasn't. The real moment came when I was 16. I was in the kitchen alone. My mom had gone out, rare because she never left me by myself for long. I felt good. Too good. So I did something small. Something I'd never done before. I stood up from my chair and walked across the kitchen without thinking. No dizziness. No weakness. No collapse. I just walked. I froze halfway. My heart started racing. That shouldn't have been possible. Right? I slowly walked back, sat down, stared at my hands like they belonged to someone else. Then I heard the front door open. I rushed back into position, sitting still, weak. Like always. My mom walked in, eyes scanning me immediately. "You okay?" she asked sharply. "Yeah," I said quickly. "Just tired." She relaxed. Too fast. And that's when it hit me. She didn't ask how I felt. She asked if I was okay. Like she was checking if I was still playing the role. That night I couldn't sleep. My brain wouldn't shut up. What if I wasn't actually sick? What if everything I'd been told wasn't true? The next day I made a decision. A messy one. A dangerous one. I skipped my medication. Just once. I waited. Hours passed. Nothing happened. No pain, no weakness, no symptoms. Just normal. My hands started shaking. Not from illness. From realization, something was very, very wrong. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't scared of being sick. I was scared of my own mother. The next morning, I didn't take my meds again. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped the pill bottle. I kept staring at it like it was going to expose me somehow. This little plastic bottle had controlled my entire life. And now I was just not taking it. I waited. An hour passed. Then 2. Then the whole day. Nothing. No pain, no weakness, no episode. No emergency. Just normal. Too normal. By the 3rd day, I knew something was wrong. Not with me, with her. But I couldn't just accuse my mom. I needed proof. Because if I was wrong, if I really was sick, I could actually hurt myself. So I started testing things. Small at first. I walked up the stairs without stopping. No dizziness. I carried a heavy laundry basket. No shaking. Then one night, when my mom was in the shower, I did something I had never done before. I ran down the hallway. Fast. My heart was pounding, but not from sickness, from adrenaline. I stopped at the end, staring at my reflection in the mirror. I looked fine. Not fragile, not sick, just normal. I started laughing. Then immediately covered my mouth. Because if my mom heard me, I didn't even know what she'd do. The next crack came at a doctor's appointment. My mom sat right next to me like always, answering questions before I could even open my mouth. She's been really weak this week. She almost collapsed yesterday. She's been having trouble eating. Lies. Every single one. I opened my mouth to speak, but she squeezed my hand. Hard. Too hard. I looked at her. She smiled. But her eyes? They were warning me. So I stayed quiet. The doctor nodded, typing everything in. Didn't even question it. Didn't even look at me. That's when something else clicked. They weren't really listening to me. They were listening to her. That night I went through her room. I know, messy, wrong, but at this point, I needed answers. Her closet was full of random medical supplies. More than we ever used. Then I found a folder. Thick, stuffed. My name on it. My hands were shaking as I opened it. Inside, medical papers. Prescriptions. Notes. But something was off. The dates didn't match. Some documents looked copied. Others had different doctor names I'd never heard before. And then, I found a note. Handwritten. Not from a doctor. From her. She responds well when symptoms are emphasized. My stomach dropped. What did that even mean? Emphasized? Like, exaggerated? Like, faked? I flipped through more pages, heart racing faster and faster. Another note. Needs to stay dependent. I froze. The room felt like it was spinning. Dependent? On what? On her? On being sick? I slammed the folder shut, breathing hard. This wasn't just overprotective. This was something else. Something twisted. I put everything back exactly how I found it. But I wasn't the same after that. I started watching her. The way she corrected me when I said I felt okay. The way she got tense when I had energy. The way she lit up when people asked about my condition. It wasn't care. It was control. Then came the moment that changed everything. I overheard her. On the phone. "I don't know what I'd do if she got better," she said, laughing softly. "She needs me." My heart stopped. Needs me. Not loves me. Not cares about me. Needs me. That's when I knew. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't confusion. This was intentional. My entire life, built on something she created. And for the first time, I realized something terrifying. If I wasn't actually sick, then why was I on all those medications? And what were they really doing to me? After that phone call, I couldn't unhear it. She needs me. The way she said it, like it wasn't about love, like it was about control. That's when I stopped being scared of being sick and started being scared of her. I started recording everything. Not obvious, not messy. Careful. My phone stayed in my hoodie pocket, voice memos running anytime she was near me. Conversations at dinner, her correcting me. The way she talked for me. You're tired, remember? You felt weak earlier. You almost fell yesterday. Every time she said something that wasn't true, my stomach twisted. But I kept quiet. I needed proof. Then I did something even riskier. I went to the doctor alone. I told my mom I had a study session after school. She hesitated, but I'd been acting weak all morning. Playing the role perfectly? Don't overdo it, she said. I almost laughed. At the clinic, my hands were sweating so bad I could barely fill out the form. When the nurse called my name, I felt like I was about to get caught for something. But I went in anyway, sat down, and for the first time in my life, I spoke. I don't think I'm actually sick. The doctor blinked. What do you mean? My mom tells you I'm weak. That I collapse. That I can't do things, I said, my voice shaking. But I've been walking, running, skipping my medication. Nothing happens. Silence. The doctor leaned back slowly, studying me. That's not consistent with your diagnosis. I know, I said quickly. That's the problem. He started pulling up my file. Scrolling, frowning. Then he paused. Who diagnosed you? He asked. My heart dropped. What do you mean? This record says you were referred, he said. But there's no original test results here. No confirmed diagnosis from a specialist. My chest felt tight. So I might not be sick? He hesitated. I can't say that yet, he said carefully. But I can say, we need to run proper tests. Proper tests. As in, the ones I never actually had. I walked out of that office feeling like the ground wasn't real. Everything I thought I knew, shifting, breaking. But it got worse. So much worse. That night I made a mistake. A small one. But it changed everything. I forgot to fake being weak. I was in the kitchen, moving around normally, grabbing a drink, when I heard her voice behind me. What are you doing? I froze. Slowly turned around. She was standing there, watching me. Not smiling. Not calm. Her eyes were sharp. Suspicious. You're moving. Different, she said slowly. Think. I'm just having a good day, I said quickly. Her expression didn't change. She stepped closer. Too close. You didn't take your medication today, did you? My heart slammed against my chest. I did, I lied. She stared at me. Long, silent, like she was trying to read every thought in my head. Then, she smiled. But it didn't reach her eyes. Good, she said softly. Because you need it. That night I didn't sleep. Because I realized something terrifying. She knew. Maybe not everything, but enough. The next morning, all my medications were already laid out on the table. Watched. Waiting. And my mom? She didn't leave me alone for a second. That's when it hit me. I wasn't just uncovering a lie. I was trapped in it. And if she realized I knew the truth, I didn't know how far she'd go to keep it hidden. The next morning felt different. Not loud, not explosive. Quiet. Too quiet. My mom was already in the kitchen when I walked in, standing by the table with my pills laid out in a perfect line. Water glass next to them, waiting. Watching. Sit, she said. I did. She didn't move. Just stood there, arms crossed. Eyes locked on me like I might disappear if she blinked. Take them. My fingers hovered over the pills. My heart was pounding so loud I was sure she could hear it. If I didn't take them, she'd know. If I did take them, I still didn't know what they were doing to me. So I did the only thing I could think of. I pretended. I picked them up, brought them to my mouth, took a sip of water, and didn't swallow. I forced a cough, turning my head slightly, and let two of them slip into my sleeve. Her eyes narrowed. You okay? Yeah, I said quickly, forcing a weak smile. They just taste weird. She stared at me for a few more seconds, then nodded. Make sure you take all of them. You can't skip. I know, but now I knew something else. She wasn't just checking. She was monitoring. The rest of the day, she didn't leave me alone. Not once. If I stood up too fast, she noticed. If I walked too steadily, she noticed. If I didn't act sick enough, she noticed. It wasn't concern. It was control. By the afternoon, I locked myself in the bathroom and finally pulled the pills out of my sleeve. I stared at them in my palm. Small, normal looking, but suddenly they felt dangerous. I grabbed my phone and searched the name printed on the bottle. My hands started shaking as I read. Side effects, dizziness, fatigue, muscle weakness. My stomach dropped. Not treating symptoms, causing them. I slid down against the wall, my breath coming out uneven. She wasn't just lying about me being sick. She was making me feel sick. That night I went back into her room. Faster this time. More desperate. I pulled out the folder again, flipping through pages I hadn't fully understood before. And then I found something new. Old documents. Way older than the others. From when I was little. Like, really little. 5, maybe 6. There were notes. Not medical ones. Hers. She responds better when isolated. Doctors listen more when symptoms are consistent. Must stay in control. My vision blurred. This wasn't recent. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This had been going on for years. Planned. Maintained. Perfected. I flipped one more page. And that's when I saw it. A printed email. From a doctor. I'm uncomfortable continuing treatment without proper evaluation. I recommend a second opinion. Under it in pen she had written, switch doctors. My chest tightened. That's why nothing ever lined up. That's why no one questioned her. She just replaced them. I didn't hear her come in. Looking for something? I froze. Slowly turned around. She was standing in the doorway. Watching me. Her eyes flicked from me to the folder in my hands. Everything went silent. No yelling. No panic. Just quiet. Dangerous quiet. You shouldn't be in here, she said softly. My heart was racing so fast I thought I might pass out. I was just... Don't lie, she cut in. Her voice wasn't loud. But it hit harder than if she had screamed. She stepped closer. One step, then another. You've been acting different, she said. Not taking your meds. Moving around like you're fine. I didn't say anything. I couldn't. Because she already knew. Her eyes locked onto mine. Sharp, unblinking. How much do you know? The question hung in the air. Heavy. I swallowed. Enough. For a second, I thought she might explode. Scream. Deny everything. But instead, she smiled. Slow. Controlled. Terrifying. You don't understand, she said quietly. Everything I've done was for you. My stomach twisted. For me? Yes, she said, stepping even closer. You needed me. You still do. No, I said, my voice shaking. You made me need you. Her expression flickered. just for a second. Then it hardened. You think you can just walk away from this? She asked. I didn't answer, because I didn't know if I could. She leaned in slightly, her voice dropping. You're not well, she said. And if you try to tell anyone otherwise, they won't believe you. A chill ran down my spine. Because deep down, I knew she might be right. That night, she locked my door from the outside. Not obviously, but enough. Enough to let me know. I wasn't just living a lie. I was trapped in it. And now, she knew I knew. Which meant one thing. Things were about to get a lot worse. I didn't panic. Not right away. I just sat there staring at the door, listening to the quiet click that had changed everything. Locked. Not in a dramatic, obvious way. Just enough. Enough to remind me I was in control. I waited. An hour. 2. Then I got up slowly and tried the handle. It opened. But something felt off. When I stepped into the hallway, my mom was already there, leaning against the wall, waiting. You need something? She asked calmly. My stomach dropped. She hadn't gone to bed. She'd been watching. I was just getting water, I said. I can get it for you, she replied instantly. Of course she could. Because she didn't want me moving around on my own anymore. I can do it, I said, trying to sound normal. Her eyes narrowed just slightly. Then she smiled. I know you think you can. Think, like I was imagining it, like I wasn't actually capable. The next few days, everything tightened. She started waking me up earlier. Watching me take my meds, really watching this time. No more faking, no more slipping pills away. If I hesitated for even a second, she noticed. You're getting worse, she'd say, tilting her head like she was studying me. Worse? Or just not playing along? Then she took my phone. Just like that. No distractions, she said. You need to focus on your health. Health. I almost laughed. If I wasn't so scared. Without my phone, everything felt smaller. Quieter. Like the walls were closing in. I couldn't record her anymore. Couldn't search anything. Couldn't reach anyone. And that's when it really hit me. She wasn't just controlling the story anymore. She was controlling me. But she made one mistake. One, she underestimated me. One afternoon, she left. Not long. Just a quick trip to the store. But it was the first time she hadn't watched me. Every second since everything blew up. I moved fast. Straight to the kitchen. The meds were still there. Same bottles. Same labels. But this time, I wasn't just looking. I grabbed them. Stuffed them into my hoodie. Then ran, quiet, fast, to the back door. For a second, I hesitated. Because if I left, there was no going back. No pretending. No safety net. Just the truth. And whatever came with it. So I opened the door. And I ran. I didn't stop until I got to the main road. My chest was burning, but not from sickness. From fear. From adrenaline. From everything hitting me at once. I flagged down the first person I recognized. My neighbor. Hey, are you okay? She asked, stepping out of her car. I need help, I said, breathless. Please. She looked at me, really looked at me. Not like I was fragile. Not like I was sick. Just me. What happened? I hesitated. Because how do you even say it? My mom, she's been lying about me. About my health. I think, my voice cracked. I think she's been making me sick. Her expression changed instantly. Concern. Real concern. Get in the car, she said. At the clinic, everything felt surreal. Different from before. Because this time, I wasn't sneaking around. I was asking for help. They ran tests. Real ones. Blood work. Exams. Questions directed at me. Not her. Me. And for the first time, I answered everything honestly. Hours later, the doctor came back. Serious. Careful. There's no evidence of the condition you were diagnosed with, he said. My heart stopped. No evidence. As for the medication, he continued, it explains the symptoms you've been experiencing. I felt like I couldn't breathe. So it was true. All of it. Every weakness. Every dizzy spell. Every moment I thought I was broken. Was something she created. Then came the question I wasn't ready for. Do you feel safe going home? Home. I thought about the locked doors. The watching. The way she smiled when I said I felt weak. My hands started shaking. No. Everything after that moved fast. Too fast. Calls were made. People got involved. Words like investigation and protective services started being thrown around. And through all of it, I just sat there, trying to process the fact that my entire life had just cracked open. But the worst part was knowing this wasn't over. Because my mom, she didn't lose control easily. And when she realized I was gone, that I had told someone, that everything was starting to fall apart, she was going to come for me. And this time, she wasn't going to pretend it was about my health. I should have known she wouldn't stay quiet. Not after everything. Not after I left. I was sitting in a small office, wrapped in a blanket that wasn't mine, answering questions I never thought I'd have to answer. How long has this been happening? Did she ever hurt you? Did anyone else know? I kept repeating the same thing over and over. I thought I was sick. That was the worst part. I wasn't fighting her before. I was living inside something she built. Then the door opened. Fast. Too fast. And my heart dropped straight to the floor. My mom. She looked different. Not calm, not controlled. Her hair was messy, eyes wide. Breathing uneven like she had rushed here the second she realized I was gone. There you are, she said, stepping inside like she owned the room. Everyone froze. A woman from the office stood up immediately. Ma'am, you can't just... That's my daughter, my mom snapped. You don't get to keep her from me? My chest tightened. She turned to me. And just like that, her entire expression changed. Soft. Worried. Perfect. Are you okay? She said, rushing toward me. Why would you run off like that? You scared me. Like nothing happened. Like she didn't lock me in. Like she didn't lie for years. Like I hadn't just told them everything. I didn't move. Didn't get up. Didn't go to her. And that's when she knew. Something had changed. What did you tell them? She asked quietly. The room went still. I swallowed. The truth. Her face didn't crack right away. But her eyes? They went cold. She's confused, my mom said quickly, turning to everyone else. She's not well. She hasn't been taking her medication. I stopped because I'm not sick, I cut in. My voice was shaking. But I didn't stop. You told every doctor I was weak. You switched them when they questioned you. You gave me medication I didn't need. Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Real. My mom laughed. Actually laughed. Short, sharp, controlled. You don't know what you're talking about, she said. You've always been like this. You forget things. You get ideas. I have the records, I said. That did it. That tiny flicker. Fear. Just for a second. They already tested me, I added, my voice steadier now. There's nothing wrong with me. The room shifted. You could feel it. People looking at her differently now, not as a worried parent, but as something else. My mom's entire posture changed. Not soft anymore, not emotional, sharp, focused. You think you can just walk away? She said quietly, stepping closer. No one moved. No one stopped her. Not yet. I took care of you your whole life, she continued. I protected you. I made sure you were safe. You controlled me, I said. Her jaw tightened. You needed me, she snapped. No, I said. You needed me to need you. That hit. Hard. For a second, I thought she might yell, break down, do something dramatic. But instead, she leaned in close. Close enough that no one else could hear. You think they're going to keep you? She whispered. You think you can just start over? A chill ran down my spine. Who do you think people will believe? She continued softly. A sick girl who suddenly thinks she's fine. Or her mother? I pulled back, looked her straight in the eyes. I'm not sick. And this time, I didn't sound unsure. The room came back all at once. Voices. Movement. Someone stepping between us. Ma'am, we need you to step outside. She didn't move. Her eyes stayed locked on mine. Burning. Calculating. This isn't over, she said quietly. Then she turned and walked out. The door closed behind her. And for the first time since this started, I could breathe. But deep down, I knew she was right about one thing. This wasn't over. Not even close. For a few days, it felt like I had won. I went to school. I went to work. I started moving normally, doing things I'd been told my whole life I couldn't. My body didn't hurt. I wasn't weak. I was free. But freedom came with its own terror. Every time my phone buzzed, I jumped. Every knock at the door made my heart race. I knew she was watching, waiting, planning, and she didn't disappoint. It started small. A text. You're doing so well, it read. Don't forget who helped you. No signature. Just the words. My chest tightened. I didn't respond. Then a call. Unknown number. I answered. Why did you run? Her voice calm, cold. I didn't run, I said quickly. I went to get help. Help? She laughed softly. You think they can protect you? You think anyone will believe you? My hands shook. I have proof. She chuckled. Proof? You mean those little papers you found? Those doctors barely glanced at them. And when they do, they'll see you're just a child thinking she knows everything. Then came the deliveries. Small packages. Empty boxes, notes, a bottle of water with a tiny note. Drink up. Remember your meds. She was everywhere, watching, controlling. And every day she got bolder. One night I came home from work, exhausted, to find my room slightly rearranged. Not chaotic, not messy, just subtly different. Pill bottles lined differently. My books shifted. My notebook opened to a blank page. A note inside, good girl. Keep taking them. That was the moment I realized it. She wasn't just lying. She wasn't just controlling. She was training me to stay in her world. Her rules. Her lies, her trap. I couldn't stay passive anymore. I started planning, secretly recording, texting friends I trusted, saving every message, every call, every threat, every little move she made to control me. Because I knew something. She might have power. She might have people fooled. She might have the law thinking I was fragile. But she had underestimated me. The next day she showed up at my school. Not for a visit. Not a casual drop-in. She walked through the front doors, ignoring the receptionist. Eyes scanning like a predator. I froze. Teachers whispered. Students stared. She found me. And when she did, she smiled. But this time I didn't flinch. I didn't look scared. I had proof now. I had witnesses. I had recordings. And most importantly, I had my own body, strong, healthy, and independent. Her smile faltered. Just for a moment. But that moment was all I needed. The game had changed. And the chaos? It was just beginning. It started at lunch. I was sitting in the cafeteria, keeping my head down, when she appeared. My mom, walking straight toward me like she owned the place. I froze. She stopped in front of me, scanning the room. Students staring. Teachers staring. My chest felt like it would explode. You think you can hide from me? She whispered, leaning close. I didn't answer. Everyone thinks I'm your protector, she continued, louder now. Everyone thinks I care for you. And they're right. They should thank me. I pushed back my chair, my hands shaking. Protecting me? You made me sick. You lied about me my entire life. Gasps around the cafeteria. She smirked. Lies? Oh, sweetheart. You have no idea. Then she did the unthinkable. She grabbed my lunch tray, slammed it onto the floor. Food scattered. Drink spilled. Students screamed. Control, she yelled! You think you're free? You're mine. Chaos erupted. Some kids ran. Teachers shouted. But I wasn't running. Not this time. I pulled out my phone, hitting record, holding it high for everyone to see. Everyone! Listen, I yelled. I've been healthy my whole life. My mom lied about me. Gave me medications I didn't need. Controlled every move I made. Students froze. Teachers blinked. Some couldn't believe what they were hearing. She laughed, a sharp, terrifying laugh. You think anyone will believe you? I have proof, I said, scrolling through texts, recordings, screenshots. Everything. Doctor's notes, emails, messages, every time you lied. Her smirk faltered. A flicker of panic. The principal and two teachers rushed over. Ma'am, step away from the student. She stepped back, finally, her eyes cold but calculating. This isn't over, she hissed, voice low. You think you've won? Yes, I said. Because this ends now. You can't control me anymore. Security escorted her out. She didn't fight. Didn't argue. Just stared, silent, dangerous. By the end of the day, the chaos had spread. My phone was blowing up, friends texting, teachers calling, family members asking questions. The word got out. I had finally taken control. Finally exposed the truth. But the thing about chaos, it never ends. Because now, everyone knew. Everyone had seen the explosion. Everyone had heard her scream. Everyone had witnessed the truth. And my mom? She was gone for now, but she was planning, watching, waiting. And I knew deep down, the storm wasn't over, not even close. After the cafeteria incident, everything exploded. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Texts from friends, teachers, distant relatives. Everyone had heard about what happened. Some were shocked. Some were furious. But everyone wanted answers. Family gatherings became battlefield zones. My aunts, uncles, cousins, they all took sides. You need to forgive her. One cousin yelled at me over dinner. She's your mother. She made her sick. My best friend shot back. Are you kidding me? My mom, of course, refused to attend any of these discussions in person. Instead, she sent emails, messages, and even tried video calls, each one dripping with fake tears and manipulation. I did this out of love. You're being cruel. Don't believe their lies. I laughed, bitter, messy laughter. Everyone else quieted down, staring. I'm not cruel, I said. I'm alive. Because she lied, manipulated, and medicated me for years. The conversation spiraled. People were shouting, slamming hands on tables, storming out. The chaos mirrored everything I'd been living through my whole life. Messy, explosive, dramatic. Meanwhile, my mom started spreading rumors in the family. That I had rebellious tendencies and was unstable. But I had my proof. Every recording, every text, every document. I compiled it into folders, labeled, organized, ready. Then came the call from the authorities. The investigator arrived the next morning. Quiet, professional, but piercing. She reviewed my documents, questioned my teachers, my doctors, my friends. The more they asked, the more my mom's web unraveled. When the investigator called my mom, her usual charm didn't work. Her lies were tangled, obvious, desperate. They're lying about me, she screamed. She's exaggerating. She's ungrateful. And that was the moment everyone saw it. My mom wasn't just manipulative, she was desperate. Panicked, unraveling in real time. At the same time, the media got wind of the story. Not national news yet, but enough. People in our town started talking, sharing posts. Social media became a storm of chaos, with supporters on both sides. Some people thought I was lying. Others rallied behind me. Friends posted photos of my health. Videos of me running, laughing, living normally. Proof. My mom tried one last time, showing up at my school yelling, attempting to intimidate me in front of teachers and classmates. I didn't flinch. I held my phone high, recording everything. You won't get away with this anymore, I said. And for the first time, I meant it. But the chaos wasn't over. Not by far. Because now it wasn't just about exposing her, it was about taking back my life. It all came to a head 1 week later. The authorities had officially interviewed everyone, doctors, teachers, neighbors, friends. My mom had tried every trick, charm, manipulation, crying, even threats. But this time, her lies didn't stick. The proof was undeniable. The day of the final meeting, the conference room was packed. My mom walked in first like she owned the place, holding her clipboard of evidence. Her posture was rigid, her smile tight. She thought she could charm everyone. I walked in after her. My chest felt heavy, but my steps were steady. I wasn't fragile anymore. I wasn't weak. I wasn't her puppet, I was me. And I had the truth. The investigator called the meeting to order. My mom started talking immediately. She's lying. She's ungrateful. I raised her. I protected her. This is cruel. I didn't flinch. I took a deep breath, opened my folder, and began laying out everything. Recorded conversations where she corrected me, exaggerated my symptoms, forced me to take medication, emails she had sent to doctors, falsifying my diagnosis, old documents and notes she had written, planning how to manipulate my life. I went through it piece by piece, my voice strong and clear, each detail hitting harder than the last. You see this? I said, pointing to the folder. This is my life. Every single symptom, every collapse, every restriction, it was orchestrated. Not care, control, and it was all fake. The room went silent. My mom's face went pale. For the first time, her control slipped. You don't understand? She started, but the investigator cut her off. This is not about misunderstanding. This is about evidence. And the evidence is clear. She gestured to me. You are healthy. You are safe. And she has intentionally caused harm. The room erupted. My mom tried yelling, trying to manipulate, trying to charm. But no one listened. Not this time. Everyone could see through her mask. I watched as the authority figures calmly escorted her out, making sure she couldn't interfere. She screamed, flailed, and shouted, but the chaos was finally contained. And then came the last part. The investigator turned to me. You have control now. You decide your path. No one can force you back. No one can manipulate you again. I felt my chest rise with relief. A weight lifted I hadn't realized was there for years. When I walked out of that room, the sunlight hitting my face felt different. The world felt different. I wasn't fragile anymore. I wasn't a puppet. I wasn't trapped. I was me. And the chaos, the lies, the manipulation, the years of control had finally ended. But the memory of it all? That would stay. Forever messy. Forever dramatic. Forever mine. Because sometimes, the biggest battles aren't in the streets. They're in the walls you think are safe. And the people you think you can trust. I had survived. I had exposed her. And now I was free. The storm was over. But the story, that one, would never end.